Hello everyone, it's Dr. Cary Yurkiw here. I'm a chiropractor in Kelowna, British Columbia, and today's topic is how can athletes get in better condition? It's a topic that was on my mind because my own children were in tryout camps during the summer. A lot of my patients are heading back to school and going to be trying out for teams late in August or early September. So I wanted to give them some tips on what they could do to get in better shape. I was an athlete and I continue to be an athlete. I run, I love doing half marathons. I played a lot of hockey and sports growing up. And now, after 25 years in my career, I know a lot about how the body works as well as nutrition and lifestyle. So I'm going to share some of these tips specifically for athletes with you today. So again, my name is Dr. Cary Yurkiw. I'm a chiropractor here in Kelowna, British Columbia. Here's my phone number. I'll put a link below if you have any questions or if you want to book an appointment or get some individual coaching to help you with your health and with your athletics. Just a disclaimer, today's webinar is not medical advice for your specific condition because everybody is unique. Make sure you see a health professional to get specific advice for your condition. So I want to talk about nutrition first. It's very important. And as an athlete, you want to eat enough protein. Protein is the building block for the body. When you're exercising, you break down your tissues and then your body uses protein to rebuild the tissue stronger. So you do need lots of good protein. And I kind of prioritize protein into plant-based protein, number one. So that's the best source, an organic plant-based protein. Sometimes you can get protein powders, but it's best to have foods in your diet that have a lot of plant-based protein. Then nuts are also very good. So walnuts, macadamia nuts, and almonds are very good sources of protein as well as some healthy fats. Fish is next best, and then last, animal protein sources. They all have their place. Some of them have certain amino acids that you can't get in plants, but it's important to get the best sources of protein, be eating them on a daily basis, and have enough of them that you can get stronger and healthier as you train to make the team. For healthy fats, what I'm talking about is omega-3 fatty acids. We need more of those in our diet, and generally these can come from fish oils, but they can also come from other products like eating different varieties of fish and some varieties of nuts too. Electrolytes are important. These are the salts that our body uses, and every cell uses electrolytes to function properly, things like sodium and potassium and chloride. Getting some electrolytes on a daily basis, if you're an athlete, is important. It helps to rehydrate you. Drink enough water, especially first thing in the morning and before you go to bed, but also before and after the activity that you're doing, whether it's training or if you're in camp. And I think it's important to add some electrolytes into that routine. I like the product called Nuun, N-U-U-N, because it's more natural than something like store-bought electrolytes, so some of the sports drinks. So the Nuun tablets that you drop in water are very good, and you can get them on Amazon. And they're great because they help to rehydrate the athlete and to kind of keep your salts in your body well balanced. As far as other foods to eat, you want to eat starch the day before. The reason you want to eat starches like pasta is the starch gets broken down in the digestive system. It's absorbed into your bloodstream. Then your body will take it out of the bloodstream and package the excess as glycogen. And the glycogen gets stored in your liver and in your muscles. So good sources of starches like potatoes and pasta the day before an activity can package the glycogen into your muscles and liver. And then when you're doing the activity, you're burning up the sugars in the blood. And then you're also taking glycogen out of the muscles and the liver, breaking it down so you can use it as energy. So It's really good to have those glycogen stores and to replenish those stores the day before the activity. So it takes a little bit of time for glycogen to get packaged and for it to be available. I like smoothies and I recommend smoothies to my patients and athletes. Smoothies are great because you can control the ingredients in the smoothie. Um, you want to buy an organic plant-based protein that's in a powder. You can get these powders at places like Costco or a supermarket. You want some healthy oils and fats like fish oils to go into the smoothie. You want some fiber. Fiber is important on a daily basis. So there's two types of fiber, insoluble and soluble fibers. You want to put a little bit of that in your smoothie too. And any supplements that you think are important for you. You might want to put some vitamins into your smoothie. You might want to add some superfoods, and these superfoods would be like blue-green algae, spirulina, which is a very good supplement to add to your smoothie too, and just to give you that edge nutrition-wise. Oh, and by the way, with the smoothies, I would recommend you have those once a day, preferably earlier in the morning, but you could also have one after your workout as well. Uh, just be conscious of the number of calories and what you're putting into the smoothie. You may want to use water with a nut milk like almond milk or macadamia nut milk. If you're allergic to nuts, you might want to look for something else like soy milk or some dairy products too. What are the best exercises to do? Well, I like high intensity interval training. That's HIIT. And when you're getting ready and getting in better shape for camp, doing intervals is great. I would go out for, let's say, a run and spend about 20 minutes most days. So you could take 1 or 2 days off a week. And then what I would do is start off by walking, and then I would run for 10 to 15 seconds and then slow down and walk or go back to a light jog. And as your workout continues, I would start to make these bursts faster and faster so that you're at about 80 or 90% of your maximum intensity during the burst. That's the interval. Then you want to rest for about 30 seconds, and then you want to do a burst for another 10 to 15 seconds. So you want to alternate. Just be conscious of your joints here. Make sure that you're smooth with your movements. You're not too abrupt in the transitions. And this will be a really good way for you to get your cardiovascular and muscular system in shape. It doesn't take a long time, 20 minutes. And if you do these alternate intervals, it will get you in really good shape. You need about 2 to 3 weeks of activity to get in great shape for training camp. Weights are good too. They build up muscle, and the heavier weights, as long as you're doing them properly, will build up muscle. You want it to be sport specific. So depending on your sport, you may want to build up your leg muscles. You may want to build up your arms. You may want to build up your back or shoulders. So make sure it's sport specific for your activity as well as direction specific. So let's say you're a pitcher, you want to work with that direction of throwing. If you're a hockey player, with that direction of shooting. If you're a football player, catching or throwing. So you really want to work with those muscles that are involved and start to get better balance and coordination in those muscle groups. There's that neuromuscular connection, which is the muscle memory, some people call it, but basically you want to have you want to build up that circuitry between the nerves, the brain, and the muscle so that there's that memory, so there's a quick reflex when you're going to do that activity. There's some research that says when we do a certain activity repetitively, and especially if you're using some weights for this, it will build up faster pathways. So the nerves will have some plasticity to them. They will start to adapt, and the speed of transmission of the nerves will become faster. So that pathway becomes a priority. You also want to build up core strength, and these are the paraspinal muscles, the abdominals. you can do activities on your back like crunches and obliques, like turning, like this person's doing right here, to touch the opposite elbow to the opposite leg. But you can also do activities where, like, you're on your stomach and you're lifting your arms off the ground and you're lifting your legs off the ground, working the back muscles as well. So we often give our patients core strength activities. And for your sport, most likely core strength is going to be an important exercise for you to do. As far as lifestyle and routine, the weeks preceding training camp, you want to make sure you're getting enough rest. And a lot of athletes don't do this. So getting extra rest is important. You want to wind things down before bed. Give yourself a 60-minute window where you shut off electronics. You're in a darker room because you want to stimulate the melatonin in the brain. So darkness stimulates the brain to change its chemistry. Melatonin is produced to help you to sleep. You want the room a little cooler than normal, like 1 or 2 degrees Celsius cooler. You want to prep that room before you go to bed. You don't want to drink any caffeine or alcohol before bed. And you want to sleep at least 8 hours. And if you need to take some naps during the day to make up for any lost time, that is good too. It's a good way to make up for any sleep deficiency. I would also incorporate a morning routine, and I try to keep your waking hours and going to bed hours consistent. The body likes consistency. And in the morning, you want to drink some water. You want to have a healthy breakfast. Make protein a priority. I would eat some protein first, and then the rest of your breakfast. And then after you digest your food, usually about 30 to 45 minutes, you're able to go out and do some exercise. Some of the interval training we talked about. And then I would incorporate something like meditation or visualization into your routine too. Meditation is really easy. I've done some webinars on this, and if you look at my history of my channel, you'll be able to find webinars on meditation. Basically, meditation just relaxes our mind, allows us to have a greater awareness, and allows us a little more flexibility to deal with stressful situations. And during training camp, you might encounter some stressful situations. So doing some simple meditation every day for 5 to 15 minutes would be great, and make that part of your morning routine. When should your training start? 2 to 3 weeks before camp. I would do 1 hard day and 1 rest day if you're doing weights, going into the gym. You could do cardio most days with maybe 1 or 2 days off a week. Use ice for sore muscles. It just reduces inflammation. And I generally tell patients to use 10 minutes of ice, and that should bring the inflammation down. You might want to cycle that by doing it 2 to 3 times. And you do want to push yourself. You do want to recreate or create the training camp environment. So kind of push yourself like you would be in training camp. Get your mind and your body used to that type of conditioning before you even get to camp. One last thing I'll talk about is visualization. And I find athletes or coaches don't talk about this enough, but a lot of research has come out saying that if you can visualize actions, and the key here is actions. So if you can visualize yourself throwing the ball accurately, if you can visualize yourself shooting the puck into a certain part of the net, if you can visualize yourself succeeding in your training, it does something for our neural connections. It has to be visualization with action though. So you really want to visualize what that means as far as your success. Scoring goals, it could be catching footballs, it could be kicking soccer balls into the net, it could be, if you're a goalie, saving the ball from going in the net. But basically, visualizing successful actions make you more likely to accomplish that when you get to training camps. So I would use visualization on a daily basis. A good time to do this is actually before bed. And you can do that in that 60-minute wind down before you go to bed. If you're interested in an assessment, we do assessments in the clinic. So we can definitely assess your health needs. We do online assessments, so we can use telehealth. We can use Zoom or Google Meet for that. as well as we do coaching. So if you need coaching to help you with things like nutrition and lifestyle, that's something that we do as well. For my contact info, it's Dr. Cary, and I'm located in Kelowna, British Columbia. Put the link below if you want to book an appointment. On social media, it's at Dr. Cary Yurkiw, pretty simple, just the way it's spelled. And we're on YouTube, and we have a podcast as well. So if you're interested in listening to our podcast, it's called Super Healthy. It's on Apple and Android, and we're on most social media channels. And I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope you learned something about getting ready for training camp, what you can do as an athlete to prepare yourself. And I wish you much success making the sports teams this fall. If you need more help, please reach out to us. And also on eventbrite.ca, you can see the upcoming webinars that we have. So follow our channels on social media, but also on Eventbrite, so you can see the upcoming webinars. Thanks so much and have a wonderful day.